Well, all right, it's another beautiful day. Today we've got several things to do. We've got some quotes to go review, and we've got some soil tests to do. Let's get this day going. Well, this project has been interesting from the very beginning. This is going to be one of those stories, rocking chair moments is what I like to call them. But I have been all over this small property trying to find a site to put in a field bed. It's going to be a fun endeavor. But we have found a location in which the soils test properly for a field bed. It isn't that far from the structure. You can see it through the tree line there. But it will require a different type of system, and we'll talk about that when we actually install it. But we've also got the length that we need and the width that we need. We'll have to do some interesting things on this hillside to put in a curtain drain to ensure that this doesn't get swamped out with water, but it's a positive direction. All right, so we've got test hole number 1, no fragipan, plenty of depth, good soil. Test hole number 2, excellent soil. Jack was very pleased with this hole. Again, no fragipan. And then up here in test hole number 3, we still don't have a fragipan or limiting layer. We do have a little bit of tighter dirt down there at the bottom, but once you break it out, it's still it still breaks up really easily. So no fragipan, but we're going to assimilate a fragipan when we install this thing, and we're gonna understand that it's there even though it's not a fragipan, and we're going to install this system to where it's actually level with the ground, maybe just a slight bit up, so that we can contour this and keep one continuous slope, but we can hide the system under the ground. So for this site, we are very pleased with this dirt, and we'll go over here and show you guys kind of how. Really nice, fluffy. That's going to absorb influent really well. And you get into this chunkier stuff, as you can see, that big part just broke off, and I'm just barely touching that, and it just comes apart into nice chunks. So structure of this dirt is really good. It does have some clay content to it, because I can smash it and it actually forms into somewhat of a shape, but you can see all the fractures in that. So it's not enough clay content to create a seal. It's just enough clay content to create a little bit of tacky structure, but good dirt. So this one gets a thumbs up, and we'll be able to install a system here. All right, so the first part of this project was the test hole digging to confirm that we can install a system, as you guys just saw. That's a go. Second part of this is the reason for the field bed is there's going to be a pole barn slash pool house, if you will, that is temporary use. It's going to be built right here. As you can see, this ground takes off up pretty good, and the actual extremities of the pole barn is kind of right in here, and it runs to about right over there to the other side of the Jeep to this low spot here. So what I have to do is put some numbers together to quote the pole barn pad, which we would do in lifts of 12 inches. We would contour it into that elevation that's coming down, if you will. For the entrance, flatten it off, carry that flat over to just above these test holes, carry it over to that corner. And again, the reason we would do it in 12-inch lifts is because we want to pack it. We want to pack it with a vibratory roller. So the next question would be is, where are we going to get the dirt? If you guys look down through here, you can see a natural drainage. It kind of runs over, and then it starts to open up, and then you have a creek down there. That creek is connected to the Ohio River, which is right over there. And this is in the 100-year floodplain. So we don't want to take the dirt from here, which A, would cause issues for the now tested field bed, but B, we don't want that 100-year floodplain to be able to come up any closer to this pole barn. We want to keep this elevation. We actually want to build it up. We don't want to lower this at all. So there is actually a knot that runs from right in here all the way down, then you see it slope off there, then it starts to flatten out. So this is going to be a 2-for-1 job. Actually a 3-for-1 job. We're going to take that knot and we're going to pull it back. We're going to haul that dirt up here and we're going to dump it in this area, and we're going to level off a nice spot for that pole barn. But while we're doing that, we're going to continue this slope all the way down and give them a nice wide, long, flat spot that continues from their current flat spot all the way over. And then we're probably going to notch right down there in that opening right there and do a slow slope down to the creek so that they can launch a John boat. Small boats, no, we're not talking about any Sensations or 25 to 30-foot boats. We're talking John boats, we're talking small ski boats, somewhere around that 20-foot or less range. And we're talking a gravel ramp. It's not going to be anything crazy. But that will allow us to kind of kick that down, enter the water, slope all this off, and create an access right along that tree line that gets all the way down there to that creek edge for that access. Once we get up here and we level all of this off and pack it in and continue that over to that hillside so that that slopes off properly, we then got to come up here to this top side where we have too much elevation. It's about 4 feet is the difference. And we got to start contouring this. We got to keep the drive. That access point has to stay. But we want to kind of kick this off over here and start to lower this so that we don't have a vertical retaining wall that's needed. And that allows us to blend it into this low spot and lower it at the same time, so that that entrance point is just a nice slow decline to a short flat spot to get into this pole barn / pool house. So with all that being said, we do have water, we do have some electricity, but most of that work up there is going to be shallow. Not too concerned about it. But this homeowner does have a really nice area that the water that comes off of the hillside comes down these rocks and then gets into that low ditch, and it carries it all the way to the creek. However, that is a set point. We can't mess with any of that. We don't want to have to redo any of that work. The water bars that they have created there, we've got to be a little bit careful with. We don't want to allow that water that catches in this basin to pick up any speed and just crash down through here and wash all of their nice landscaping out. So the plan would be to just do that slow transition, maybe not keep the water bars, but ensure we do something up there to keep that water from gaining too much speed. I don't think we're going to be able to fill it in completely to get the water over to their landscaping, but we're going to have to do something up here. This is kind of the only question mark. The rest of this down here is good. Once we get this pole barn pad established, the 2-bedroom system, these systems require 70 feet of pipe per bedroom. It's not that they're putting 2 bedrooms in here, but that's kind of the minimum they wanted to go with. So in here we will have a system that is 35 feet long and let's just call it 25 feet wide. So this would be the part 3 of this 2-parter. That system will be installed in the ground. As you guys heard earlier, there's no fragipan, so we'll be able to hide it, which means we carry this slope to a flat, nice packed base for a pole barn. to then slow taper back off right over top of the septic system and blend it right into this hillside. All right, everybody, we've got an amazing view. For some reason, this river just always brings me and DP potential business, and we like it because we get a great view while we're working. However, to speak about this one, it's an interesting one. I really don't even know where to start. Well, let's just kick it off with the house is built, almost finished, but no backfilling was done on the back side. No backfilling was done on the left side. The septic tank is already installed. There is no field bed yet. That is not us. We did not quote this septic. No fingers in that cookie jar. Anyway, back here on the back side of the house, they do have the basement sealed properly, I guess is the proper term. You can see it there. It has been sealed and waterproofed. However, the dirt is supposed to be right in this region all the way across and then taper down right underneath of that meter base and go underneath the air conditioner and come up flush with the concrete. Obviously, you see an air conditioner. Obviously, it's pretty typical to have backfilling done way before this point in time. Now, let's go to the other side. Oh, wait, we can't go to the other side yet. Remember, the house is built. No backfilling has been done, which is kind of positive for the next point, but there's no gutters, which means there's no downspouts, which means there's no plumbing to evacuate the water. So now we go over to the other side, and as we come through here, you can see how many rocks are in this dirt, so really wouldn't recommend backfilling with that stuff. And as you can see on this hillside, it's all rock. So not only is there no backfilling done, but the dirt's also going to have to be brought in, and I'll show you the rest of the property here in a moment. However, you can see on this side, steps, concrete, porches, post, foundation, no dirt. Really, no access. Side of the house, no dirt. So this is one of those, A, do you really want to quote it? Yes, we want to help people out. B, do you really want to get it? Yes, we want to help people out. I know I'm talking to myself. However, you come to the front side of the house, and someone has taken all this nastiness and used it as fill dirt, trying to fill it. It's got bricks, it's got rocks, it's got brick ties. Then you look down here, this same nasty dirt is in that area there. As you can tell, someone put rock on it, and then with this nasty dirt, something that weighs just a little bit, sunk right in it. You got another pile of spoils over there, which is basically useless. You look over here, no contour whatsoever, just okay, we ran out of that dirt and we didn't want to move any more of that dirt, so we're done. Rock stacked up funky. I already told you, no filled bed. Now when it comes to the dirt for backfilling, you come to the front side of this property. Well, you're not going to get any dirt out of there. So this is a very interesting one. This field bed area cannot be touched. You cannot access the back side of the house over there. So we have one access. And I don't know where the property line is, but there's a great big rock in the way. And I don't even know if that's truly their access. And you have utilities. So I had some conversations with this customer. It's a really steep approach. Oh boy, if they do own it, maybe we could back Bubba dump or the C8500 right up here and scoop the dirt out of there. This is one of those, just smack yourself on the forehead. Anyway, I think if we move this rock, we could probably make an approach here of some sort to maybe even just back in there and pull the dirt out of the bed above a dump and get it on this hillside and then transfer it to the next interesting feature. Can't go through that rock. Pretty confident we can't move that rock. Even if we could, as long as this is their property, which I'm assuming since it's mowed, and there's a flag right there, or a ribbon should I say, I believe we can come right up through here with this dirt, take this nastiness, feather it out, and get up right along the backside, because if we go over here, that was a spider web, there's actually somewhat of a flat spot right there. Kind of rolls over. And we got some fill that it's mainly rock. So we should be able to utilize that to build us an access road. Probably going to have to take out one tree, remove some other dead trees, come in on this back side here and dump the dirt over the side and let it slowly spill and feel up against the house. Once we get to a point to where we really don't want an angle, we can bring the excavator up there and kick it back and level it off and maybe even pitch it away from the house a little bit, so hopefully the water will come out and run around on both sides. Now remember, we have a septic tank here and that line's going to shoot out and go over there, so lots of funky stuff. I don't foresee this gutter, it's going to come down this pole, but I don't foresee it being able to come down and go out that way, because then you're going to turn 90 and go across driveway, which sucks. And we're not going to be able to go across the field bed because you can't put anything in there except for the field bed. So this downspout is going to have to go into a pipe that comes over 45s at the corner of the house and then runs along the back side of the house. The downside of that is the back side of the house, because it has washed, is taller and we can't get a machine in there. We may be able to squeeze the Mini in there, but it's not going to be any fun, but it's possible. And then with the height of that backside, there's really not enough room in here to do any pretty slope whatsoever, so we're probably going to have to use a concrete cube right here to gain some elevation, and then the slope come up to meet this back one, but that would be a retaining wall to keep the dirt from knocking the air conditioner over, and then we'll just create a nice little flower bed right there or something. So with that being said, we're going to go back to the other side, and again, this is a beautiful place, awesome place. I struggle sometimes with how things are done. I know this contractor, he does great work. I know he thought about it beforehand. However, we're back on the other side. I'm sure you guys remember this. This is where the field dirt is going to need to come down here. Well, we have to keep in mind, we need to be this tall. Well, from here to that concrete is, whew, that'd be pretty steep. So we need to get a cube in here to again gain elevation, and then slope our dirt up, kick our dirt around, do a nice pitch back. However, there's steps. There's steps. This is not big enough for the skid steer people. It's just not big enough. So luckily I did talk to the contractor and he said he would remove those steps. So now, issue number, I don't know, 42. There's no ramp here. So basically we're going to have to rework the driveway. I know, this just is comical to me, people. I keep laughing. But we're going to have to rework this driveway to ensure that we can get up onto that concrete. Hope to goodness, with a 4,000-pound block and a skid steer, we don't crack the concrete. Get it all the way to the back side and set it on the back side of that pole. Now, let's go to the bottom of the driveway because they also want a water line installed. There is no water supply to this brand new home. Sometimes that happens, I get it. Well, they want that water supply to come basically from that hydrant, run up this ditch, and go to the back side of the house where we need to backfill, turn 90, and come into that tarred wall that you guys saw back there, which again, getting equipment back there might be interesting, but hey, if DP's on the job, we do a lot of crazy stuff. However, once we get this water line installed from this meter base, this is just personal preference now talking. If this was mine, look at that house. That is gorgeous. There's no way this is maintainable, especially with all that straight up spoil, field dirt, useless dirt. All those rocks are always going to come to the surface. So what this comes down to, I'm going to have to talk to the owners, find out what they really want to do, what they really want their outcome to be, find out what their hopes and dreams are, as I've stated before, and try to make that obtainable. I don't know if it's obtainable or not. Oh, look, squirrel. Actually, it's a big barge. See why we love it here? I could just watch these barges go by all day long. I think I'd probably get bored because I don't know how frequently they come along, but that's a heck of a view. That is one heck of a view right there. All right, enough with the barge. So that's what we're faced with. And oh, by the way, the entire thing is behind schedule. We're booked out until 2023. They'd like for it to be done in October. Oh boy, might have to play some phone calls, have some conversations. All joking aside, I think it's achievable. If they're okay with it, we may be able to remove some more dirt off of this corner. It's going to be quite a bit of dirt, and it's going to be this rocky dirt, nasty stuff. But we might not need to. It all depends on the downspouts. We might be able to just get the mini in here, knock the corner off, so we can run the downspout from that side of the house along the back side of the house, bring it over, tee it into this downspout, and bring that line down and take it all the way to the ditch before we kill it, then backfill all this really nicely. If that's their property over there, I think we can access the back of the building. I think we'll be able to get back there and put dirt in there to fill it properly. I think we'll be able to trench the water line in, get the mini behind those steps, and get it curled around. I think. And then we're going to add, I think I can. It's not going to be cheap, but I think we can get it done. Now it's just a matter of, can we fit them in the schedule, and is the price okay, and what do they really want? I want to confirm what they really want, because I do know they don't want to remove any trees, which makes it a little bit harder, but I'm sure they'll throw that idea out if we can achieve their hopes and dreams. I'm sure a tree or two isn't going to kill them. So with all that being said, we're going to give them a call. We're going to talk to them about what they really want. We're going to try to make this happen. You guys stay posted for the rest of it.